it is, YouTube? It's your girl, Potty Mouth Goddess, PMG. What it is, Potty Mouth Squad, PMS. How y'all doing today? I want you to know, if you don't already know, you're a beautiful, kind, smart, and intelligent. And overall, you just fine. Shh. Okay, you fine. Shh. And anybody who comes in contact with you, they need to ask themselves,
how lucky can one guy be?
all right, so look, y'all, we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so it was actually a little bit more details than what that other video went into of that testimony. I got my good girl here, D Chanel. She's one of my favorite reaction channels, and you know, she got the tea from. I reacted to this other creator. Her name is Impressive Tea. Like, she comes with all the So without further ado, let's hear the more in-depth tea of this testimony.
Diddy about to react to this big, all the Diddy talk, it was like, all right, cool, we know he's a monster, we know that he's terrible, we know that, the baby oil and all of this, the freak off. People just kept regurgitating the same exact talking point. So I was just like, all right.
Car just
shut up. Hopefully he brought to jail. Let's move on. But no, this trial is really bringing to light these details. These details are wild. We'll see if she goes over it, but I've been keeping up. I'm watching Armand Wiggins, his lives about it. Y'all go support him and check out his lives, because he be getting into the deets, okay? Because he goes to the
might have to look into Armand. I've heard of Armand Wiggins.
Oh my God.
I've seen a couple of his vids, probably like 3.
She don't have to tell you. I'm gonna tell you because it's crazy. It's crazy. We ain't heard these details before. Anyway, let's see what she got to say.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. P. Diddy's trial has.
Who in her background? She over here looking.
Diddy right now is facing some serious charges. The feds hit him with a racketeering charge, a trafficking charge, and also a charge relating to transportation to engage in prostitution. And if Diddy is found guilty on all these counts, he could be facing life in prison. Now, the prosecutors did show the footage where Diddy was beating down his ex-girlfriend Cassie at the security guards who intervened during that incident did give a testimony and said that Diddy was shouting at her, telling her to leave. And he even said that
apparently this was during a freak off. She was trying to get away from the freak off child. It was a man in the hotel room that was, freak off.
See, the other video ain't say that. I ain't know that. I thought it was just Diddy and Cassie in the room, and she tried to break free while he was in the shower or something. That's why I figured why he had the towel on, but that makes sense too.
She was over trying to leave. That's why he had to throw a towel on. He's naked. They was in there.
Diddy tried to bribe him, but he turned it down. He also said that Cassie had a bruised eye, but Diddy's defense team did kind of grill him, and they pointed out the fact that some of the stuff that he was saying was not written down in his initial incident report. So there is some discrepancy there. Diddy's defense also downplayed the idea that Diddy bribed him because the security guard was complaining about the damages. So they basically argued that Diddy was offering money to pay for the damages, not to
rather than bribe.
Now, the prosecutors brought up a second witness, and this was kind of crazy. The second witness was a male escort named Daniel Phillip, and he said that he participated in multiple freak-off sessions with Diddy.
He said he was hitting Cassie raw because Diddy, I'm just saying, I don't know if she's going to talk about it. He was hitting Cassie raw, okay? And Diddy would like the escorts to ski in Cassie or ski.
Oh, yeah, ski and then the nipples.
And then he would go in the other room and he would like her brother. The ski of the escort. He wanted their ski on it. Like jerk on to the skis, like using it as lube, I guess. And then he wanted Cassie to rub their ski on his. I was like, oh my God, this is wild. Wild.
Wait, I got questions. And you know what? Do I really want to know the answer? But like I do have questions. So like he was nutting himself too. So Diddy was nutting, taking their nut, using it as lube. Then when they would nut again on Cassie, take it off of Cassie, put it on himself, put it on his nipples. That's okay.
And that's what they would call their freak-up sessions. And Cassie did also say that she was the one who would actually select the escorts upon Diddy's instruction. This escort in particular, Philip, claimed that Cassie paid him. He showed up at the hotel. He thought that he was going to strip for a bachelorette party. Come to find
He over
out,
here just. Y'all know that episode of SpongeBob when Squidward was hitting that shit?
Diddy was in the pool with a bandana covering his face.
Honestly, none of this is a laughing situation. I'm not laughing at the situation at all.
Girl, you good. People just weird.
And he was just watching, sitting there, jacking off. Diddy would also report
Jacking off.
and that two things that his freak-up was up to 10, and he would get paid up to $6,000 in cash. And rarely did they use condoms. Whew. So can you imagine the STDs? Whew. And one time, Cassie asked the escort to give her a golden shower. This is what the escort, Daniel Phillips, said. He said, Cassie was actually the one who asked me to urinate on her. She asked me if I'd ever done that before. She told me to do it. Apparently, I was doing it wrong because they both told me. Also, Daniel did say that he did witness Diddy put his hands on Cassie.
So when they said he was doing it wrong, so apparently they were like, not supposed to just eat. Like, just, supposed to come out.
Like little by little?
Again, not laughing at the situation, but these details are just wild. I just don't know if anybody does things. But anyway, they posted, I guess, pee a little, pee little by little. It's a proper.
This whole shit. Okay, so what if they didn't have to use the bathroom? So was he just taking more money? Like they ain't gotta pee. Was he just taking more money from them, or will he just give them bottles of water? Like, nah, nigga, you gonna pee, or or what if they didn't have a lot of pee? Like it was just a little bit, and that was that. Would he hit them, or I don't know. I have a lot of questions.
And then he heard Diddy tell Cassie, "Me when I tell you to come now, not later." Now, the escort, Daniel, did not intervene or call the police because he was scared. He was scared that if he did something, Diddy would take his life. And he didn't want that to happen. And also, tell another incident where Diddy was slapping Cassie behind the bedroom doors and she was screaming. And then he left the hotel room and Cassie jumped into Daniel's lap and she started crying. And then she started kissing him and their kissing turned into them having a full-blown intercourse.
Oh, my poor baby, yeah. Them drugs and all of the physical abuse, my mom was going.
It was very that Diddy's daughters had to leave the courtroom. And honestly, I don't know why Diddy would even want his children there.
I wouldn't have came.
People keep saying, but obviously, this is a common tactic that people will use because it makes them look, I guess, less guilty when they have their families there. If their families don't show up, the jury is way more likely to find them guilty because they're like,
yeah, your family ain't show up.
If they don't fuck with you, then yeah, you must be this demon that everybody say you are. So it just makes them look worse when someone is on trial if their family isn't there to support them. So that is why they're all there, it helps with his case. But of course,
nah, in his case, nah, it don't help with shit. He done, baby, he done.
But hurt by it eventually. Even if they try to avoid, the T pages and whatnot, people will be active and saying, "Oh, daddy pissed on people and he did this about this trial." There's no way you can escape the info anyway. So there's no way of actually protecting this, if we're being clear. And they just this is their daddy. They love their daddy, regardless of whatever type of monster he is. they love their dad, so they do want to be there to support him, I'm sure, as well.
And I don't agree with him trying to use his children to soften his image for the jury.
That part was
Now, I want to get into Cassie's testimony because this is, in fact, important. Now, Cassie was in a 10-year relationship with Diddy, and it was very volatile. Cassie actually sued Diddy in 2023 and accused him of SA, DV. She claims he drugged her, violated her, did all types of heinous stuff to her. And Diddy did settle that $30 million lawsuit within a day. And of course, that made him look guilty because that was the fastest settlement in entertainment history. And this lawsuit actually led the feds to investigate Diddy and also arrest him. So Cassie's lawsuit and her testimony are very important. And like I mentioned before, Diddy is facing racketeering charges. And basically, he's been accused of running a criminal enterprise and using bribery and arson and trafficking and all sorts of crimes under his company. And also, he's facing another charge for sex trafficking and also transporting prostitutes across state lines to engage in sex. So that is illegal. And Cassie's testimony actually strengthens the prosecutor's case against Diddy because she admitted that Diddy had his staff provide her with drugs for their freak-offs. And some of these drugs were illegal, like ecstasy. That's not legal. Diddy would also use travel agents who worked for his company to arrange for escorts to fly in for the freak-offs. And their freak-offs would take place in different states and different countries. So they were flying prostitutes.
Damn, different countries.
So Diddy was using the network and his enterprise to engage in crimes. And this is what's going to hook Diddy. Yes, he's violent and yes, he's freaky, but those are just descriptions of his character. However, it's these crimes that are going to have him locked up for life. Now, Cassie hit the stand and she broke down in tears, y'all. She talked about how she met Diddy. You know, she was an aspiring singer. She met him when she was 19 years old, and he was in his mid-30s, close to 40. And, of course, since she was signed to him, he had this power over her. He had power over her career and her choices. And he also lured her into having a romantic relationship with him. And Cassie admitted that she was in love with Diddy. She was enamored by his fun, outgoing personality. However, she didn't know that he had a dark, devious side. She said that he would frequently put his hands on her and he would leave injuries all over her body. She said sometimes if she even looked at him wrong, he would knock her in the face. So he was very...
That's them drugs and security just kicking his ass.
She said she was shocked Diddy introduced her to these freak-offs. Diddy liked to watch his partners sleep with other men.
She said that the freak-off started like within a few months of the meeting, very early on.
That is how...
Damn, he ain't even wait a year?
Right. So he to do that. And Cassie was young. She was inexperienced. And she didn't really open up until Diddy gave her some ecstasy. And that's when she got lured into the freak-off lifestyle, okay? Now, some people would argue that she was complicit because she picked the escorts and she oftentimes paid them, but she claims that she did it under Diddy's instruction. And at first, Diddy was the one who was picking the escorts, but then he...
She gotta pick him or she'll get fucked up. That's what it boiled down to. She had to.
All right. By all of these male escorts all around the world, she said they would have these freak-offs weekly, like for years. Who would want to do that? He would make her do it on her period, okay, with blood all over the room. Who wants to do that? She said at one point, for one of the freak-offs, she was like laid down and both Diddy and the other escort was peeing in her mouth. They both were peeing in her mouth at the same time. She was choking on the pee. Who would want to do that? Let's use common sense. Clearly, she was the victim in this. Y'all are just stupid. That is wild. You choking on pee?
Yeah. Waking up to choking on pee. Not just, y'all was already in the moment. Nah.
She would have to Craigslist for medication. Diddy would have to approve. But Diddy was really the one who was orchestrating all of the freak-offs. He was the one who set up how he wanted it done. he was recording her, and there was like tons of blackmail footage that they both recorded. And she claims that she didn't really know how to refuse the freak ups because she didn't know how Diddy would react. Diddy was moody, he was temperamental. She was scared that he would get mad or violent. And she also didn't want to be rejected because in her mind she was in love with him. So it's clear that she had some form of Stockholm syndrome. The freak offs were humiliating. It made her feel disgusting. She actually broke down in tears when she talked about it. She was always drugged up when she did the freak offs too. She was always either on ecstasy, coke, or mushrooms, and she drank alcohol, and she would be doing freak offs for
Mushrooms.
days.
Oh, I know she was
The
tweaking out.
longest
Bad.
freak off session
Bad,
was
bad,
like
bad.
for
And with the
days, and she
ecstasy.
had to take coke to keep her going. It was and Diddy to see Cassie get beat up like the exports to pee on her.
And that's another question too. So like if she was tweaking out, like they was fucking while she was tweaking out, like she could be having anxiety. A lot of questions, man.
And so subsequently, Cassie and exports listening and baby oil. Cassie said they used 10 bottles of baby oil that were in her freak off session.
Heat it up.
That's how Diddy had Cassie into baby oil. It was just crazy.
A
Her
pool.
testimony was really intense, and she has
Nah, the other video ain't say that. They mentioned that they was fucking in the kiddie pool.
but as far as I'm concerned, Diddy is cooked. Now, I do want to talk about this because some days ago, the R&B singer Albie Shore revealed that he believes that Diddy was behind his medical crisis that almost ended his life. He thinks Diddy tried to take him out. Now, if you don't know,